look at some hops.
I thought you were going to the Eel River.
I am.
Kim, grab your mom's hand. Okay, which way do I go?
Left.
No, are we gonna get back on 90?
Yes. Tim said take a left. It goes right to 97.
Okay. I'll start off with something of the poems and the story, something of Karen. We're on our way to Willits, coming down 101. I'm taking Karen to Emandal Farm to a quilting workshop. She'll be in a cabin for 4 days. I'll go back down and look for some stones on the Eel River. I'll be alone in the mothership. A man who's a poet and friend sends me Montale's motets, the love poems. Listen to Montale. The noise of a train speeding through a tunnel tells me of the men on journeys trapped in stones. You want to read it? A poem for hope and healing by Tony Molina. Approaching the boulders, I notice a path with the roar of the ocean quickly. Thoughts come from the past. I look to the wall and down to the shore. The wind seems to call many names from my mind, showered with memories, some happy, some sad. I turn to the wall thinking, could these stones be symbols of family and friends? These rocks, so colorful, yet many gray, somberly, have much to say. The wall is not straight, but gently curves, a wall of length with rocks of strength. This wall displays courage and breeze, tales of old, of people gallant, people bold. Hear the wind, feel the breeze. The ocean applauds its daughters and sons. Wait a second. As waves endlessly strum, welcome home, welcome home. Look, come back in here and your reflection is just like it is in Washington, D.C. Walk up there and touch it for Tony.
At the north end of town in Willits, you will make a right-hand turn onto Commercial Street. Set your car's trip mileage odometer now. First block, you will pass the No-Yo Theater on your right, and the City Park your left. In the second block, continue straight. When you're 1.5 miles from Willits, you will come to a Y intersection with O'Leary's Red Barn Feed Store off to your right. Veer left. You will now be on the Hearst-Willits Road. This road will curve again to your right. When you are almost out of the valley, you will come to the junction of 306 Hearst-Willits Road and 308 Canyon Road. Continue straight on 308 Canyon Road. You will cross a small single-lane bridge 3.9 miles from Willits. And start up the canyon. Canyon Road is paved all the way, but gets narrow in some spots, so be careful. About 7.4 miles from Willits, you will come to another Y in the road. Turn left and go across the cement bridge. The road now becomes Tomkey Road and will soon become unpaved. That's all for now. There's 3 more paragraphs. Here's the red barn.
What?
Off to the right.
Yeah.
Veer left.
This is a good time in my life. In a poem by James Galvin, Galvin writes from Italy, "Then came the rich, tourists, sunbathers from every elsewhere, who flop on the beach. The house Montali grew up in crushing isolation." I read this poem walking on a treadmill. Back me up road now, huh? Oh yeah. You might be thinking, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. That's not it, but this is a great story. I'm fully present. We're already back. My job is always with Karen. This is an exercise given me by the Muse.
Looking at the directions, Jim. Oh. You get lost here and never find your way out. Emandal has a 100-year tradition since 1908. Emandal has been hosting families and friends each summer. The farm and its natural surroundings are the perfect setting for you to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. They have 19 redwood cabins. The majority were built by Al Burns between 1910 and 1925.
Wow. So that's a 100-year-old cabin.
Where?
1910.
Oh, yeah. What are those? Llamas? What was that? What'd you lose?
Scary.
Didn't lose the top of the camper.
That's the quilts.
Those are sheets.
Look at the quilts. They're sheets. Flying away over. Look at the eagle. Oh. Oh, you did the koi. Oh, Karen. It took everything out of me not to ask you what you're gonna do.
Well, this is the koi pond from the Japanese gardens in Portland. And I had this in my mind and had a picture of it from day one when I knew I was coming here. But I really needed instruction in accomplishing this. I started by putting a piece of fabric down. It was actually this fabric right here, and it was a rectangle about this big. And Laura came over and looked at it, and she said, "Is that how big your quilt is going to be?" And I said, "No." And in addition, I was laying pieces of fabric across it for my little floating gates, floating rafts. And she said, "Well, let's think about this. The rafts are on top. Everything else is beneath. So you have to do that last." And I had some of this lace I ripped some fabric and laid it down, and then I laid the lace all the way over the top, all the way down. And wasn't happy with that. And she suggested many different materials in the water.
Oh, for using the water?
For using the water.
Like?
Well, she said that would be good, and this one would be good. And I'd started with all black up here. So this was the camo material I made Josh's book bag out of.
Oh.
And so I took everything off and started all over again, and started ripping pieces of fabric in different widths and just laying them down. And not knowing exactly what I was doing. And I loved it. Just the way I laid it out, it's all dark up here, and then some of the lights come in, and when I took a picture of it, I could see water.
And it's just amazing. I mean, you make the rest of us in the normal world, we want to say, isn't water supposed to be blue or green? Your koi are beautiful, and the water is sparkling for the camera.
Well, this stuff here has silver and green in it, and so then I cut some pieces just to sprinkle around up here to give this some different light.
Well, how many different colors are there in your water, do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's lovely.
And I even like the way there's nothing here. That's just the batting behind. Just...
Okay, can you hold it up? What about your ferns there in the corner?
Well, I started.
They're beautiful.
I had a couple cut out, and Laura suggested I fuse them with a different fabric on the background so that it gives them some strength. And so all the ones I had were green, this dark green, and they kind of disappeared in the dark water. So she thought I should have multicolored greens up here, and I found this one, and I like just the combination of the two.
It's gorgeous, and it adds another kind of dimension outside of the water, like the floating raft. Is that what you call it?
Mm-hmm. And everybody had ideas on the raft. It was, one person said it was to keep the raccoons out of the pond, and another person said, well, and the birds. The birds come down and love to get the koi.
Wow. What a gift you were to that community for a week. Hold it up. Oh man, water will never be the same.
The beginning of the paragraph, or?
Wherever you want. I want you to hear that part about you and about water and wildness and transformation and stuff.
But this intimacy was only the starting point for Sue's cultivation of wilderness. Wilderness.
Uh-huh.
His poetics dramatically extended the interiorization of wilderness that Mei Yao Chen's poetics began. Rather than consciousness giving shape to the world it encounters, Sue's poems enact consciousness wandering like water, the operant metaphor for Tao, taking shape according to what it encounters. Sue's mastery of this selfless poetics derives in part from his lifelong devotion to Chen, for Chen no mind mirrors whatever it encounters with perfect clarity. But as with water, there is an inner nature to the poet which endures through all the transformations.
All of the listening, all of the being for others, all of the art that you make, you retain that kernel that is always you. Karen says to me, when I paint my masterpiece, talking about her quilt, I play her Dylan's song on my iPhone. I tell her how much I love her using the language, saying, I did it, or it all came through me. In Indiana this summer, Karen was driving, remembering, and quilting is a form of remembering. Here's a poem from listening to Karen. She was talking about the cars, Karen says, driving us to New Ross, Indiana on the morning of the reunion. Highway 267 ran by Grandma and Grandma's when I was a child. A little 2-lane road. I remember Grandma saying, we just sit here on the porch and watch the machines go by. Time to get up and go. No hitch in my get along. Nothing but go in my giddy up. This is a collaboration between Karen and I.